Have you ever wondered why some people seem to learn faster, remember longer, and apply knowledge more effectively, even without a teacher or a formal classroom? Imagine being able to teach yourself anything, whether it's mastering a new language, coding, philosophy, or even rocket science. What if the secret to success wasn't about school at all, but about how you learn on your own? That's exactly what The Science of Self-Learning by Peter Hollins explores. And in this video, we're going to break down the entire book, chapter by chapter, insight by insight, so you can unlock your full potential as a lifelong learner. So grab your notebook, because this isn't just a summary, it's a step-by-step guide to becoming your own best teacher. And hey, before we dive in, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss life-changing insights like these. Now let's begin. Chapter 1. Why Self-Learning Matters. Traditional schooling often teaches us what to learn, but rarely how to learn. We sit in classrooms, take notes, memorize for exams, and then, poof, the information evaporates in weeks. The problem? Schools rarely teach self-directed learning, the very skill we need most in today's rapidly changing world. Think about it. Technology evolves daily. Careers shift overnight. Industries rise and fall. In this environment, the most valuable skill you can ever develop is the ability to teach yourself anything, anytime, anywhere. Peter Hollins emphasizes that self-learning isn't just about reading books. It's about building a mindset where you see every challenge as an opportunity to expand your knowledge. It's about being curious, disciplined, and strategic in how you approach new information. Here's why this matters. Independence. You're no longer limited to what schools or courses offer. Adaptability. You can pivot careers or learn new skills whenever needed. Confidence. You build trust in your own ability to figure things out. And here's the kicker. Research shows that people who actively practice self-learning not only acquire knowledge faster, but also retain it longer. Why? Because they learn with purpose, not for grades. But let's address a big misconception. Self-learning doesn't mean learning in isolation. It's not about locking yourself in a room with books. It's about developing the strategies, tools, and habits that make your learning effective, no matter the environment. Before moving forward, let's pause for a quick engagement checkpoint. If you've ever successfully taught yourself a skill, whether cooking, coding, or playing guitar, drop it in the comments below. I'd love to see the amazing things you all have learned on your own. Chapter 2. The Psychology of Learning. Now that we understand why self-learning is essential, let's dive into how the brain actually learns. If you understand the mechanics of learning, you can hack the system for better results. Peter Hollins introduces key psychological principles. 1. Neuroplasticity. Your brain isn't fixed, it's constantly rewiring itself. Every time you practice or study, you're literally building stronger neural connections. 2. The forgetting curve. Without review, we forget up to 70% of new information within 24 hours. That's why active recall and spaced repetition are game changers. 3. The power of attention. Multitasking kills learning. The brain needs focused, distraction-free time to encode knowledge deeply. 4. Emotion. Plus, learning. We remember things tied to emotions better. That's why stories, examples, and personal connections make information stick. Self-learners who understand these principles use them to their advantage. Instead of cramming, they space out reviews. Instead of passively reading, they quiz themselves. Instead of treating learning as a chore, they connect it to personal meaning. Imagine this. 2 people study the same subject. One crams notes the night before an exam. The other uses self-learning strategies like spaced repetition, real-world application, and curiosity-driven exploration. 6 months later, who do you think still remembers the material? The second one, without a doubt. That's the difference between schooling and self-learning. If you're finding these insights helpful so far, smash that like button. It really supports the channel and helps this video reach more learners like you. On Chapter 3, Breaking Free from Passive Learning. Here's the harsh truth. Most people think they're learning when in reality, they're just passively consuming information. Reading a book, watching a lecture, or listening to a podcast can feel productive. But unless you engage actively, very little sticks. Peter Hollins emphasizes a crucial distinction: passive learning versus active learning. Passive learning, reading without notes, watching without pausing, Listening without questioning. It gives an illusion of progress but leads to quick forgetting. Active learning. Asking questions, summarizing, teaching back, applying knowledge. It feels harder in the moment, but it creates stronger memories and deeper understanding. Think about it. When was the last time you binge-watched a documentary and then struggled to recall details a week later? That's passive learning, but if you had paused, taken notes, explained the ideas to a friend, or tried applying them, you'd remember much more. So, how do self-learners practice active learning? 1. The Feynman technique. Explain what you learned in simple terms, as if teaching a child. If you can't simplify it, you don't truly understand it. 2. Self-testing. Don't just reread notes, close the book and quiz yourself. Struggle is part of the process. It strengthens memory. 3. Application first. Instead of waiting until you know enough, start using knowledge immediately. Want to learn coding? Write your first small program today, even if it's messy. Remember this rule. If learning feels too easy, you're probably doing it wrong. True learning requires effort, retrieval, and practice. What's one subject or skill you wish you had learned more actively instead of passively? Drop it in the comments. I bet many of us share the same regrets. Chapter 4. The Role of Curiosity. Why do kids seem to learn languages faster than adults? Why can a teenager memorize every lyric of a song but struggle with schoolwork? The secret lies in curiosity. When we're genuinely curious, the brain releases dopamine, a neurotransmitter linked to motivation and memory. In other words, curiosity doesn't just make learning enjoyable, it makes learning stick. Peter Hollins argues that self-learning thrives on curiosity because you're not being forced. You're choosing the path. Unlike school assignments, self-learning is fueled by intrinsic motivation. Here's how to cultivate curiosity in your learning journey. 1. Ask better questions. Instead of just asking, "What is this?" ask, "Why does this work this way?" or "How can I use this in my life?" 2. Connect the dots. Relating new knowledge to things you already love sparks excitement. A history buff learning economics can ask, "How did trade shape empires?" 3. Follow your rabbit holes. Don't be afraid to explore tangents. Sometimes chasing curiosity in one subject leads you to insights in another. For example, Elon Musk famously taught himself rocket science by reading textbooks and asking endless questions. His curiosity wasn't academic, it was practical. He wanted to know how to build rockets, and that why drove his learning deeper than any classroom could. So, if you ever feel bored while learning, pause and ask, "How can I make this personally meaningful?" If curiosity has ever helped you master something on your own, like learning guitar, cooking, or even building your first website, hit the like button right now. Your support helps us keep making videos that fuel your curiosity. Chapter 5. Building a self-learning system. Okay, here's where things get really practical. It's not enough to be curious or to practice active learning. You need a system. Peter Hollins stresses that successful self-learners don't rely on motivation alone. They design routines, tools, and strategies that make learning inevitable. Here's a step-by-step framework you can use. 1. Define your goal. Clearly, vague goals lead to vague results. Don't just say, "I want to learn Spanish." Instead say, "I want to hold a 10-minute conversation with a native speaker within 3 months." 2. Break it down. Chunk big goals into smaller milestones. If you want to code, start with write a simple calculator before aiming to build an app. 3. Choose the right resources. Don't overwhelm yourself with 10 books, 20 courses, and endless YouTube videos. Pick 1-2 high-quality sources and stick with them until you master the basics. 4. Schedule learning sessions. Treat learning like a non-negotiable appointment. 30 minutes daily beats 3 hours once a week. Consistency rewires your brain faster. 5. Review and reflect. At the end of each week, ask yourself, what did I actually learn? How can I apply it? Reflection turns scattered knowledge into wisdom. Pro tip: create a learning journal. Write down your goals, daily notes, and progress. Studies show journaling improves retention by reinforcing reflection. Remember, a system doesn't just make learning efficient, it protects you from distractions, procrastination, and burnout. If you're serious about building your own self-learning system, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because in upcoming videos, we'll dive deeper into tools, apps, and techniques that can supercharge your learning journey. On Chapter 6, Mastering Focus, Here's a hard truth. Distraction is the enemy of learning. You can have the best system, the best resources, and endless curiosity. But if your attention is fragmented, your progress will crawl. Peter Hollins emphasizes that the ability to focus deeply is more valuable than raw intelligence. In fact, researchers call this deep work, the state where your mind operates at peak performance. So how do self-learners master focus? 1. Eliminate digital distractions. Turn off notifications. Use apps like Forest or Freedom to block social media during study time. Put your phone in another room if necessary. 2. Set clear intentions. Before you sit down, decide, what exactly am I going to learn in this session? Vague intentions like study biology lead to procrastination. Specific ones like summarize Chapter 3 in my own words keep you sharp. 3. Use the Pomodoro technique, 25 minutes of focused work, silos. 5 minutes of break. After 4 cycles, take a longer break. This structure trains your brain to enter and sustain concentration without burning out. 4. Create a learning environment. Your brain associates context with behavior. If you study in bed, your brain thinks it's sleep time. Dedicate a specific space for learning, clean, well-lit, and distraction-free. Remember, focus is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. If you struggle with attention now, don't worry. With consistent practice, you'll notice dramatic improvement. What's your biggest distraction while learning? Your phone, noise, or maybe procrastination? Drop it below and let's see if others struggle with the same. Chapter 7. Habits that build lifelong learners. Motivation is fleeting. One day you feel unstoppable, the next day you feel lazy. That's why successful self-learners don't rely on motivation, they rely on habits. Peter Hollins highlights that small, consistent actions compound into massive results over time. Learning a language for 15 minutes daily will beat cramming for 3 hours once a week. Here are some key habits to adopt. 1. Daily learning ritual. Choose a fixed time daily, even if it's just 20 minutes. Protect that time as seriously as a work meeting. 2. Note-taking habit. Don't just read, capture key insights in your own words. Cornell notes, mind maps, or even digital flashcards like Anki all work. 3. Review habit. Spend 10 minutes at the end of the day reviewing what you learned. Weekly reflections turn random information into structured knowledge. 4. Teach what you learn. Teaching forces you to simplify and clarify. Whether you explain to a friend, write a blog, or record a video, teaching cements mastery. 5. Environment habit. Surround yourself with cues that support learning, books on your desk, study playlists, or even joining online learning communities. Key insight: habits beat willpower. If learning becomes automatic, you don't have to push yourself. It just happens. If you want me to make a full separate video on powerful learning habits and routines, smash that like button and let me know in the comments. Chapter 8. Overcoming obstacles in self-learning. Here's the part nobody talks about. Self-learning is hard. You'll face resistance, frustration, and self-doubt. But the good news? Every obstacle has a strategy. Peter Hollins identifies the most common challenges. 1. Procrastination. Solution: start small. Tell yourself you'll study for just 5 minutes. Often, starting is the hardest part, and momentum carries you forward. 2. Overwhelm solution. Break goals into micro steps. Instead of learn physics, focus on understand Newton's first law today. 3. Information overload. Solution: avoid hoarding books and courses. Pick one source, complete it, then move on. Mastery comes from depth, not breadth. 4. Lack of feedback. Solution: create feedback loops. Use practice tests, share your work online, or find a mentor. Feedback prevents you from repeating mistakes. 5. Self-doubt. Solution: reframe failure as feedback. Every mistake is proof that you're pushing boundaries and learning actively. Remember, obstacles aren't roadblocks, they're stepping stones. Every struggle is part of the learning process. Peter Hollins compares self-learning to building a muscle. If you don't feel resistance, you're not growing. The key is to expect challenges and embrace them as signs of progress. If you've ever faced one of these obstacles while teaching yourself something, type yes in the comments. Let's show that every learner struggles and succeeds together. Chapter 9. Memory Mastery. Remember what you learn. Here's the painful truth. Most people forget 90% of what they learn within days. If you've ever read a book and then struggled to recall key ideas, you know the frustration. But Peter Hollins assures us, memory is not a gift, it's a skill. And like any skill, you can improve it with the right techniques. Here are the core memory strategies self-learners use. 1. Spaced repetition. Instead of cramming, review material at increasing intervals. 1 day, 3 days, 7 days, 1 month. Apps like Anki and Quizlet make this effortless by automating flashcard reviews. 2. Active recall. Don't reread passively. Close the book and test yourself. Struggle is productive. It strengthens memory retrieval. 3. Chunking. Break information into meaningful groups. For example, instead of memorizing 12 random digits, group them as 2025, 365, 247. The brain loves patterns. 4. Visualization. Mnemonics. Turn abstract information into vivid mental images. Example, to remember the planets, create a silly story with each one as a character. 5. Teach back. Teaching forces recall. If you can explain a concept clearly to someone else, you've stored it deeply. The key insight? Forgetting is normal, but with structured review, you can hack the forgetting curve and make knowledge permanent. Have you ever used flashcards or memory tricks while studying? Share your favorite technique in the comments. I'd love to learn from you too. Chapter 10. From Beginner to Expert. Self-learning isn't just about picking up casual knowledge. Done right, it can take you from novice to expert in almost any field. Peter Hollins explains that expertise doesn't come from endless reading. It comes from deliberate practice. Here's the roadmap. 1. Start with the basics. Focus on core principles, not advanced details. Mastering fundamentals creates a strong foundation. 2. Deliberate practice. Instead of repeating what you're already good at, identify weaknesses and work on them directly. A pianist doesn't just play full songs, they drill difficult passages until perfected. 3. Seek feedback. Experts improve faster because they constantly correct errors. Get external feedback from mentors, peers, or even online communities. 4. Push beyond comfort. Growth happens at the edge of ability. If you feel frustrated, you're on the right track. The challenge zone is where expertise develops. 5. Accumulate deep work. Hours. Hollins highlights that true expertise requires focus over time. 10,000 shallow hours won't cut it, but 1,000 focused, deliberate hours can. Remember, expertise is built, not born. Self-learners who combine curiosity, practice, and feedback can reach levels that rival or surpass formal education. If you're working toward mastery in a skill right now, whether it's programming, design, fitness, or anything else, comment below with the word mastery so I know you're on the journey. Chapter 11. The Lifelong Learning Mindset. Finally, we reach the ultimate lesson of the book. Learning doesn't stop after school. It's a lifelong adventure. Most people think education ends with a diploma, but in reality, that's when real learning begins. The world evolves too fast to rely on outdated knowledge. If you stop learning, you fall behind. Peter Hollins stresses that lifelong learners share a unique mindset. 101. Curiosity over grades. They learn for meaning and application, not external validation. 2. Growth over perfection. They see mistakes as opportunities, not failures. 3. Adaptability. They treat every new challenge as a chance to learn something new. 4. Cross-disciplinary exploration. Lifelong learners connect dots between fields, combining science, art, technology, and philosophy. Innovation often happens at intersections. 5. Contribution. The ultimate goal of learning isn't just personal success. It's sharing knowledge, teaching others, and creating impact. Hollins reminds us, the best learners never graduate. They just keep evolving. If you believe in the power of lifelong learning, hit that subscribe button right now. Join our community of self-learners who are constantly growing, adapting, and becoming unstoppable. Chapter 12. Tools, Resources, and Modern Learning Hacks. We've explored the psychology, systems, habits, and mindset of self-learning. But here's the truth. Your environment and tools can either accelerate your growth or slow it down. Peter Hollins highlights that we live in the best era for self-learners. With the internet, we have access to more information than all the world's universities combined. The challenge isn't availability, it's knowing how to use resources wisely. Here are the best modern hacks and tools for self-learners. 1. Digital platforms: Coursera, Udemy, Khan Academy, edX. Structured courses across any subject. YouTube. Yes, free video tutorials can rival paid courses if curated carefully. Podcasts, audiobooks. Learn while commuting, exercising, or cooking. 2. Active practice tools: Anki, Quizlet. Spaced repetition for languages, science, and memorization. Notion, Obsidian. Personal knowledge bases to organize notes and connect ideas. Project-based learning. Instead of endless theory, build small projects, apps, blogs, experiments. 3. Communities feedback: Reddit, ER, Learn Programming, R, Language Learning, etc. Peer support and problem solving. Discord, Slack learning groups, real-time discussions and accountability. Meetups, Ja, online mentorship. Real human feedback accelerates growth. 4. Lifestyle hacks for learning exercise. Sleep. Brain performance skyrockets with physical health. Mindfulness, meditation, increases focus and emotional regulation during frustrating study sessions. Journaling. Writing about what you learn improves reflection and retention. Key takeaway: don't overwhelm yourself with tools. Pick a handful that fit your learning style and stick to them consistently. What's your #1 go-to resource when you're teaching yourself something new? Drop it in the comments. I'm curious what works best for you. The grand conclusion: becoming a self-learner for life. We've journeyed through Peter Hollins' The Science of Self-Learning, and here's the bottom line. You don't need a classroom, a degree, or a formal teacher to learn anything. You just need the right mindset, system, habits, and strategies. Let's recap the biggest takeaways. 1. Learning is active, not passive. Quiz, teach, and apply, not just consume. 2. Curiosity fuels retention. Ask better questions, and the answers will stick. 3. Systems beat motivation. Clear goals, daily routines, and reflection are your foundation. 4. Focus is power. Eliminate distractions, train attention, and embrace deep work. 5. Habits compound results. Small daily actions add up to expertise over time. 6. Memory can be trained. Spaced repetition, recall, and visualization make learning permanent. 7. Obstacles are part of the process. Procrastination, doubt, and overwhelm are signs of growth. 8. Lifelong learning is the ultimate edge. The world keeps evolving, so should you. Now imagine this. You wake up tomorrow knowing you have the power to learn anything. A new language, a new career, a new philosophy, even a new way of living. No gatekeepers, no waiting for permission, just pure curiosity and the tools to satisfy it. That's the promise of self-learning. It's not just about getting smarter, it's about taking control of your life. If this video helped you unlock even one insight, then do 3 quick things for me. 1. Hit that like button. It tells YouTube this video is worth sharing. 2. Subscribe. Join our growing family of curious, unstoppable learners. 3. Turn on the bell icon so you never miss a new breakdown of life-changing books and ideas. And I'd love to hear from you. What's the next skill or subject you're going to teach yourself? Drop it in the comments. I'll be reading every single one. Because remember, school teaches you lessons and then tests you. But life tests you first, and it's up to you to learn the lesson. So go out there, pick up a book, launch a project, join a course, or just start Googling. The world is your classroom and you are your own best teacher. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep evolving.